The divine pharaoh, power, authority, and legitimacy in ancient Egypt. For millennia, the civilization of ancient Egypt was defined by the figure of the pharaoh. These rulers held absolute power, a dominion rooted in the profound belief that they were not merely kings, but living gods on earth. This perception of divinity was the very cornerstone of their authority. The pharaoh's perceived divine status was not simply a matter of personal aggrandizement. It was the bedrock upon which the entire Egyptian state was built. It enabled the centralization of power, facilitated administrative control, and provided the symbolic legitimacy necessary to maintain order and stability in a complex society. The source of the pharaoh's unparalleled power lay in the conviction that he was a divine embodiment. Initially, pharaohs were considered the earthly manifestation of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship and the sky. This association linked them directly to the ancient myths and the very fabric of the cosmos. Over time, the pharaoh's divine lineage evolved. They came to be regarded as the son of Areh, the sun god, further solidifying their connection to the source of life and creation. This divine parentage granted them unparalleled authority in the eyes of their subjects. As intermediaries between the gods and the people, the pharaoh was responsible for maintaining Ma'at, the cosmic order. This concept encompassed truth, justice, and balance, and it was the pharaoh's sacred duty to ensure its preservation throughout the land. This responsibility justified their absolute rule. The pharaoh's divine status demanded unwavering obedience from their subjects. To question the pharaoh was to question the gods themselves, an act of sacrilege that threatened the stability of the entire kingdom. This belief system reinforced the pharaoh's control over every aspect of Egyptian life. The pharaoh's divine status facilitated an unprecedented centralization of power. They exerted control over all aspects of Egyptian life, from land ownership and resource allocation to religious practices and military campaigns. No aspect of society was beyond their purview. To effectively manage this vast domain, the pharaoh appointed a network of officials. These included viziers, the pharaoh's chief advisors, as well as priests who oversaw religious rituals and scribes who managed the kingdom's records. These officials were handpicked and utterly loyal. This system of appointed officials enabled the efficient administration of the kingdom. A vast bureaucracy, fueled by the pharaoh's authority, ensured the smooth functioning of the state. This bureaucracy was essential for managing the complex needs of a large and prosperous society. The bureaucracy performed key functions vital to the kingdom's survival. These included the collection of taxes, which funded the pharaoh's ambitious projects, and the overseeing of massive construction projects, such as the pyramids and temples that dotted the Egyptian landscape. They also maintained the vital irrigation systems that supported agriculture. The pharaoh's control extended to the very economic foundations of Egypt. The state exerted direct control over the economy, directing labor and allocating materials as needed. This level of control allowed the pharaoh to undertake monumental projects that would have been impossible otherwise. Monumental projects served both practical and symbolic purposes. The pyramids, for example, were not only elaborate tombs but also powerful symbols of the pharaoh's power and connection to the divine. These projects demonstrated the pharaoh's ability to mobilize resources and manpower on an unprecedented scale. Temples dedicated to the gods reinforced the pharaoh's role as a divine figure. These grand structures served as centers of worship and also as symbols of the pharaoh's piety and devotion. They reinforced the pharaoh's role as protector of the realm. Military control was another crucial aspect of the pharaoh's power. The pharaoh commanded the Egyptian army, using it to defend the kingdom from external threats and to expand its territories. Military success further solidified the pharaoh's power and influence, both at home and abroad. Beyond direct control, the pharaohs employed a range of methods to achieve symbolic legitimacy. These included elaborate rituals, grand monuments, and carefully crafted propaganda. These efforts were designed to reinforce the pharaoh's divine status in the minds of the people. Colossal statues and temples depicted pharaohs in divine poses. These images reinforced their godlike status and served as constant reminders of their power. These imposing structures were designed to inspire awe and reverence. Hieroglyphic inscriptions glorified the pharaohs' achievements. They emphasized their connection to the gods and presented them as benevolent rulers who brought prosperity and stability to the land. These inscriptions were carefully crafted to convey a specific message. Visible symbols of the pharaoh's authority were present throughout the land. These constant reminders reinforced their divine authority and the importance of obedience. From small amulets to towering obelisks, the pharaoh's presence was inescapable. Elaborate funerary rituals further solidified the pharaoh's divine status. Mummification, the preservation of the body, was a key element of these rituals. Burial in elaborate tombs, filled with treasures and provisions for the afterlife, ensured their continued power in the afterlife. These rituals reinforced the cycle of divine rule. The pharaoh's death was not seen as an end but as a transition to the afterlife, where they would continue to reign as a god. This belief system ensured the continuity of pharaonic power. The pharaoh's success lay in their masterful manipulation of the divine mandate. They skillfully used religion, propaganda, and force to maintain their absolute power. Their reign shaped the course of Egyptian civilization for millennia. The concept of the divine pharaoh had a profound impact. It shaped the political, social, and religious landscape of ancient Egypt. The legacy of the divine pharaoh continues to fascinate and inspire awe to this day.